Exercise 1 is jump squats. So we're taking a normal squat, which is used to build the hamstrings and the quads, and we're adding an explosive element by jumping up into the air. And as you can see, I'm cushioning my landing by bending the knees, and I'm putting my hands on my shoulders just to take away the momentum of my arms, which you would usually use when jumping. Taking away this momentum puts even more stress on the legs, so you're building even more explosiveness, and also forces you to engage the core. Exercise 2 is jump lunges. So this is when we bend both legs 90 degrees, one in front of the other, and then we explode up into the air by straightening both of our legs, and then we land with our opposite foot in front. And as you can see, cushioning my landing once again by bending the knee as I make impact with the ground. And this time I'm using both of my arms for balance, and they're bent 90 degrees as well. And as my right arm comes forward, my left leg comes forward, and vice versa. Exercise 3 is lateral bounds. So this time we're working one leg at a time, bounding from side to side. So all our weight is going on a single leg. So really having to engage those hamstrings, quads and calves. And then our core has to be engaged as well to balance. And we're using those arms as well. So this exercise is really going to improve your change of direction, making you more explosive off the mark because you're loading one leg. So when you change directions, all the weight goes on one side. So we're replicating that in this exercise. So if you do this often, you're going to see yourself change the direction a lot quicker. Number 4 is a skip. So we're on our toes bouncing, and then we're driving one knee up at a time. And as we drive one knee up, the opposite arm drives out in front as well. So this is working on those lower legs. As we hop on the spot, you're going to feel it burning your calves, but also engaging those hip flexors, which are really important for explosive speed. Exercise 5 is reverse lunge knee drive. So we're performing a reverse lunge, so our foot goes behind us, bending both knees 90 degrees. And then as we push up, we also drive our knee of our opposite leg into the air as well. So we're working all of those leg muscles, but also the hip flexors as well. And as you can see, driving the opposite arm with the opposite knee as I'm driving upwards. This is a really tiring one. I like to do 5 on each side and then 3 sets all together. Exercise 6 is tuck jumps. This time we're using our arms as momentum, and then we're lifting both hip flexors. So really getting a lot of hip flexor work here, and we're bringing both knees up 90 degrees parallel with our hips. So nice jumps, and as you can see, I crouch forward, so having to engage that core as well. A great exercise for building jumping power and overall explosiveness. Exercise 7 is high knees. So this is a great exercise for working on not only developing your running technique, but it will increase your running speed if you do this consistently, because you're forcing yourself to synchronize those arm and knee movements. So as you can see, as my left arm drives, my right knee drives, and vice versa. And if you work on this, it's going to make your running technique a lot more efficient, a lot more explosive, and overall increase your running speed. Exercise 8 is heel flicks. So we're bringing up those heels behind us towards ourselves, which really isolates the hamstring muscles. To perform that leg flexion, you're really engaging the fast twitch fibers in your hamstrings, which are going to make you overall more explosive when you're running. And once again, remaining on those toes, getting in a rhythm, and trying to coordinate those arm movements with our leg flexion as well. Exercise 9 is kneeling jumps. So we're starting in a kneeling position, then swinging our arms through and using that momentum to jump up off of our knees and land onto our feet. Really forcing you to engage those hip flexors. They have to be really explosive to be able to swing those legs up, and engaging that core as much as possible. The combination of your hip flexors and your core should be enough to give you that momentum and power to jump back onto your feet. Really good movement for developing your explosive capabilities. Might take a little bit of practice to get this one, but when you do, you're going to see a huge translation into your performance on the pitch, in your running speed, your jumping power, and all of those movements that require maximal force in a short period of time. Number 10 is calf jumps. So this looks a little bit similar to the jump squats we performed in exercise number 1, but as you can see, we're not bending the knees anywhere near as much. So we're really trying to load the lower legs instead of the quadriceps and the hamstrings. So really working those calf muscles, trying to be explosive, pointing those toes as I jump up in the air. We're using a slight bend just to absorb the impact and give you a little bit of momentum, but all the load is really going on those calf muscles. So if we can make those more explosive, it's going to improve your running speed, but also your jumping capabilities as well. And if you want to do a full workout, try each of these exercises for 10 reps all the way through 1 through 10, and then complete them 3 times. Modify them to your own fitness levels, but if you do these a few times a week with a day of rest in between, I'd recommend 3 days a week. You're going to see huge improvements in all of those areas.